You are taking a live look right now over Jerusalem there in Israel. As we talk more about the ongoing situation there, I do want to bring in Eylon Levy, former Israeli government spokesperson. We aired his daily briefings here on Live Now from Fox. You'll remember that from just several months ago. Joining us now live, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Hello, Josh. It's good to be here, and it's good to still be alive.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask. First off, before we talk about anything else, how are you doing? Because I know that had to have been absolutely terrifying.
It was a really terrifying experience for the whole country. The first time that everyone, almost without exception, had to run into a bomb shelter. It started when we received alerts to our phones saying, stay near a protected space. We switch on the news and find out we're expecting an imminent Iranian ballistic missile attack. Soon after that, sirens start blaring. Everyone has to run into protected spaces. As that's happening, there is a shooting attack taking place on the Tel Aviv light rail. And Israel came under what is one of the biggest ballistic missile attacks in world history.
Was the Israeli population there kind of able to, I want to say return to normal, but that's not the right word, after everything did happen and the Iran attack was over? Did everyone just go about their daily lives? Because again, I know the sirens have become almost an hourly occurrence there.
Can I tell you something, Josh? After the sirens last night, I still managed to make it to a wedding in the evening. Israelis are very tough. They are very gritty. And we sang to the music of I Will Survive at the wedding only minutes after Iran tried to kill us with 200 ballistic missiles. Israelis, unfortunately, are well drilled. We know what to do when there is a siren, where to seek shelter. But there is a very firm determination in Israeli society not to let them get to you, not to let them disrupt your routine. And I think that's really a credit to Israeli society. You don't see looting, you don't see panicking, you don't see rioting. People calmly seek shelter, and as soon as it is safe to do so, they catch their breaths and they try to get on with their routines.
The U.S. involvement in shooting down some of those missiles that were fired by Iran, what does that say to you overall about, let's say, the U.S. and Israel relationship right now?
I think it says that the U.S. understands that a safe Israel means a safe Middle East. And an Israel that comes under attack is a threat to the Middle East because Israel is going to have to defend itself. Let's remember the basic situation now. Israel has been under attack by the Iranian regime and its proxy armies on 7 fronts now for a year. This started with Hamas in Gaza, escalated to Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, Iranian-backed militias in Syria and Iraq. Yesterday, we had a terror attack that came from the West Bank. On any given day, we have rockets from 4 or 5 different directions. And the United States understands that Israel needs to be able to defend itself. And notice we're seeing a shift in U.S. policy. After the last Iranian ballistic missile attack in April, the message was, don't respond, do something symbolic. And the lesson that Iran took was that it can keep firing missiles at Israel and get away with it. Now we're seeing the U.S. not only warning of severe consequences, but after the attack happened, telling Iran there will be severe consequences. And we're working together with the Israelis to contain your aggression.
My last question for you here. What do you think overall, and I know you don't necessarily have any insight, but I do want to ask, what do you think is Israel's next move here?
Israel is going to have to respond. We cannot allow ourselves to have a new normal in which Iran can rain ballistic missiles, and just because we're able to fend them off with allies, we have to pretend that nothing happened. This was an act of aggression, and Israel is going to have to respond in a way that restores deterrence. By restoring deterrence, I mean making Iran pay a price so it won't do this again. And I imagine that decision makers will be looking at various targets. Some have proposed maybe hitting Iran's oil facilities. The regime is particularly worried about that. Some, former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, say now is the window of opportunity to destroy Iran's nuclear facilities. Because Iran is now a nuclear threshold state. It has enough enriched uranium for several bombs. US intelligence says it can build them quickly if it wants to. And I don't want to think what would happen if Iran decided to launch another 200 ballistic missiles at us after it gains nuclear weapons. So some people are saying it's actually time to go for, the most extreme scenario and take out Iran's nuclear facilities. But a direct attack on Iranian soil in response to this act of aggression is definitely something that could be in the pipeline.
All right. Eylon Levy, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here. Anything else you want to add before I let you go?
I think it is so important. Anyone who has friends in Israel, even Jewish friends around the United States, send them a message. Say that you're thinking of them, because many people are feeling very abandoned and isolated as we've been under attack on 7 fronts for a year now. And reminders from friends, colleagues, people they haven't spoken to in years that you're thinking of them, it really goes a long way.
All right. Thank you again for taking the time to be here with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.